Okay, looks like we're all set. I think we should do this. Here we go. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you are all doing well. I know that I am. Thank you very much for asking. Well, hopefully today is going to be a great day, not only because it's Friday, but because yesterday Facebook would not let me stream no matter what I did. So we screwed that one up. And day before yesterday, the sound was all muddled. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm starting to dress up for winter time because it's kind of chilly here and I kind of screwed up my microphone, or was it Facebook? Who knows? And once the stream is rolling, I can't really check, to be honest with you. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and let's go on. So, like usual, we're going to go over to the computer. We're going to check out what we did in those short 20 minutes of streaming yesterday before I realized that everything was going to hell, and see what we did yesterday, and we'll take it from there. So, as I said, it was a very short day yesterday. Whoops, that's not where we want to go. There we are. We started off by just adding these little flowers or little explosions in between our leaves. And then we tackled the main centerpiece. And obviously we didn't get very far. We did the lower part, and then we did the background of the upper part. And then we called it a day because the stream just wasn't working. So, enough excuses. Let's get back to where we are today. So today we are going to continue on this main front piece here, and I'm going to be going back and forth because the problem we're going to have all winter time now is the paint drying fast enough so I can keep working on the stream. Because the whole point of this channel is to share everything that goes on in the studio. I'm not going to work later and then pick up the next day where we left off. No, I want to do everything together. So if we have to stop painting after 20 minutes, we stop painting. When we do a lot of details, it takes 2 hours. So anyways, so today I am going to start off. Let me think this out for a second. I am going to start off. Let's see, what's going to dry first? Okay, I'm going to start off with right here, and then I'm going to go back and join this part right here, and we'll figure it out as we go along. To be honest, since yesterday I only painted 20 minutes, today I'm kind of anxious because there's nothing that I love more in the world than painting, or at least spending my afternoons painting. So let's get to it. There we go. Okay, so it's not going to be complicated. A little bit of white paint, a little bit of black paint. Considering the entire painting is going to be a variation of grays, it's not going to be too complicated. And I absolutely needed to reset my brain to zero after all these months of intense bright colors that I usually paint with. So my hard drive in my brain kind of just needed a reset. And that's what this painting is all about. So let's keep our materials clean. And okay, let's get a little bit of black paint in here on the corner. And as we go along, we'll just blend in more and more the colors, the degrees of gray that we'll be using. There we go. Okay, all that's away. Let's keep our materials nice and clean. Very good. Okay. Now, the next step, finding the right paintbrush. Okay. Finding the right paintbrush. So I assume something like this, not too big. There we go. I am going to use a larger brush just to kind of start blending the two colors, black and white, though theoretically black is not a color. So let's do that together. I'm going to go on camera number 1. There we go. I'll bring this down here where I do have some water, and we'll just kind of get things started. I'll move all this to the side. I mean, one of the most important things is to get the right consistency of the paint. And that's what we're going to do right now. After that, we can worry if it's dark or light by adding just a little bit of white or black paint. But to start off, definitely get this right texture. I like it to be very kind of creamy. Let's just add more water. This is awfully thick, so I want this to be a lot thinner. Again, not too thin because I don't want it dripping all over my painting, which would force me to swear a lot. And I want to also keep the opacity to its maximum as well. So I just have to kind of find that right balance. All right, I'm getting there. Also, the thinner the paint and the faster it'll dry as well. Now in the summertime, in the fall and the spring, I have a fan going to help it dry faster, but no way I'm going to put that on catch a cold. So anyways, so here we go. This looks pretty good, doesn't it? I think so. Look at that texture. Looks like pudding almost. Make my friend David laugh every time I say that. David Gerstadt. Check out his Facebook page. Awesome painter. Awesome person. Known David for over 20 years. One of the most generous people I know on this planet. Okay, so let's pull up the camera. And I am going to bring it over like on the side a little bit. I'm going to zoom in for a few minutes, just get it ready for the next step. There we go. First, I'm going to come back here, rinse off the brush and pick up the right one. The one at least I'll be using right away. And I can see that I'm going to have to make my paint just a little bit darker. Because right now the gray that I have is more or less the same gray as the background. I do want to stick out a little bit. I'll just make the adjustments here, take a few seconds. So let me try this out, see how that works. Very good. There we go. Very good. Again, this is just the background. Okay, very good. Okay, now let's move on to the next phase of the painting, which is going to be this guy here. And I'm going to try this brush and maybe this newer brush that I just bought. I've never used so far. Maybe I'll try that out. And I'm going to, as my paintbrush is getting softer, I am going to just make more paint. Again, I have to play again with, I want it darker than the background, but not too dark as well, because this guy with the nuclear mass is going to be two-toned, lighter and darker, and I'm going to start off with the lighter color. And I guess I'm going to make quite a bit of it, so I'm going to go back to camera number 1 here, where we can do this together. Maybe pull that camera back a little bit. There we go. I'm going to need quite a bit of the paint, so I might as well just make the whole batch right here and get that to the right texture. And of course, we can add more black if needed. I did it right away because I know that was way too light. And let's blend all this together. Here, let me turn this around. There we go. There you go. Just blend everything in. Get the water to get absorbed by the pigments. The binder of acrylic paints is a polymer emulsion, so just blend the water in with all that. So that looks pretty good, I guess. Not too sure if the color is right. So let's bring the camera up, and I'll just zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to just kind of check the difference between the background here and what this part will be. And it is slightly darker, so that's what I want, I guess. Very good. Okay. So I'll leave camera 1 over there. I'll come back to camera number 2. And I'm going to check out my brushes here. Somehow it looks like I'm not going to have enough paint. And I'm not convinced I have the right paintbrush for the job, so we'll see. This might require 2 coats of paint as well. Most of the painting does require 2 coats. For example, this background here is going to need a 2nd coat for sure, because I can see right through it. I can see the brush strokes. On the camera it doesn't show, but in real life it does. Okay, so let's try this. I will just step back for a second. Okay, now let me check this out. Okay, very good. So I'll come back to camera number 1, which I will pull back maybe just a little bit like that. And while I'm painting, I'm going to put some music of my friend Jacek on the guitar, and that should make things a little more enjoyable and will permit me to concentrate as well. Okay, so so far so good. Now I just realize I'm a little nervous because obviously I had to cover certain areas of our background, and I can see that already. I can see my paintbrush marks all over, which means it will need a second coat, which means this first coat has to dry first, which means that I could be in some trouble of not being able to really continue very much today. So, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the second coat of this background right now, and then we'll take it from there. And we'll keep our fingers crossed. And I'm going to need some white paint for that. A little more white paint. And I must say that yesterday, even though I couldn't stream on Facebook because it just wouldn't let me do it, I actually didn't lose my cool, believe it or not. Didn't swear or anything like that. Because since I've been streaming since what? Since May maybe, or early June or something like that, almost 5 days a week, I've only had 3 days where I've had major problems. And when I think about the technology, I mean, I'm using my phone, the 4G of my phone, to connect to the internet. And that goes all around the world live from my studio. When I think about that technology, I'm in awe. So there is no way in the world I am going to bitch like crazy when something doesn't work. I mean, I just find this to be able to do that, to be able to stream, to talk to you, no matter if you're living in India or in Montreal. To me, it's just amazing. I just find this extraordinary. So I am going to continue to paint. But anyways, I did want to share that because too often, people don't have any connection, or and people start bitching and totally forget really what's involved, how awesome this technology is, really. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't have certain implications. I mean, we can debate also a lot of things about this technology as well. I'll admit. Okay, so let's see now. Do I have the right color for my background? I know as well that it's going to darken when it dries. I had mentioned that yesterday when I was doing these little flowers, where on the screen you could barely see what I was doing. And I mentioned, well, when it dries, it will be obvious. And sure enough, today it's like 5 times darker and it's very obvious. And it's going to be about the same for this background as well. I know at least with the second coat I won't see through the white of the background, and I won't see my brush strokes anymore as well, which is the reason why I'm putting this second coat. And I don't have to be that close to the edge because everything is going to be outlined, obviously, afterwards. Okay, very good. Very good. So I'm going to try, without being totally convinced, of doing the next step, which will be the darker part of these towers. If it doesn't work, I'll have to just stop there and we'll call it a day because it's the same here. I need everything to be dry for me to, and I need to put a second coat down before I continue. So, but I'm going to try it on these towers, but I'm not really totally convinced it's going to work. So, let's try this. Yeah. Yep, so far not really working out the way I want it to. Let's see if it works better now that I've washed off my brush. Okay, so it did work out. Okay, so I lucked out on that, thank God. Let's try the second tower. Okay, kind of working out as well. I will have to retouch a little bit later when it's dry, but at least it allowed me to put this coat on. So let me just step back. Oops. Yeah, okay. Okay, when I put the black outline, it will look perfect, if I may say. It's not quite there, but the way I like it. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a little swig of water. Cheers. When I do the outlines, they will go from thinner to nice and fat down on the bottom. Looks very nice. Okay, so what about here? Should I do this as well? The darker part of this? I'll probably have to do two coats anyway, so I might as well start with the first coat today. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to erase this little pencil that I had here, which was kind of a guide. And there we go. Make a huge mess. Well done. Get my eraser things on the end of paint. No big deal because I am going to be putting a second coat in. A second coat on probably Monday. Jesus, come on, guy. There we go. Yeah, it's finger painting. Okay. So where am I here? I wanted to do this, but for that I'm going to need a smaller, maybe this paintbrush to start off with. And I am going to have to make more paint, so let's just get that paint together, mix it all in, get it to be the right texture first, and then we'll make sure we get the right hue afterwards. I definitely won't be able to do any of the details. Well, we'll have to do that on Monday because it'll be a huge mess if I try to do that today. I mean, normally what I would do is I would just go and play a computer game and then come back later and do this when it's dry. But since we're streaming live, we don't have that luxury to come back and wait for the paint to dry. You know, I would just put the fan on full blast, then go into my little living room over here and just wait like 40 minutes and then come back and paint some more, which is always kind of enjoyable. Here, I'll actually just turn this camera around and show you my little living room that I was talking about. There you go. So I hope you can see it because I can't see really what I'm showing you, but so there you go. It's a nice little space to hang out while you're waiting for the paint to dry. There we go. I have no idea how that worked. I hope it worked out okay. Okay. Let's get back to this guy. And okay, that looks like it's going to be the right darkness. Yes, the right hue. Okay. Just going to clean off the brush to make sure I have total control over it. And let's see if I can get the outline for the eye first. There we go. Very good. Okay. Very good. All right. All right. Now there are a lot of details that have to go on top of this lighter gray, but I can't do that. Not till the paint is dry because I have to put that second coat on, especially down here when I covered a little bit of my background, so that's even more crucial. So I'll have to do this later, I guess. Looks like I'm even going to have to put a second coat right here as well. So I guess Monday will be second coats day. And then on Tuesday we can finish off all the details. And right now I'd like to do one more little thing if possible. Now I could have waited till Monday, but I'm going to do it now. And it's just to get that. Nope. I need a little bit of white. There we go. Just get that little second eyeball together. Of course, with the black outline, it's going to change completely, but actually, I want this even more to come down like this. There we go. And here it's a little screwed up, but with my black outline, I'll be able to fix it. So I'm definitely not going to worry about it, especially on a Friday. Hell no. So, where are we here? I also got to fix this area here. Second coat on that area. It's a shame. I mean, if we were in the month of August, I could definitely, it would be dry by now. But anyways. So, I am not going to waste any time. I'm going to start off my weekend in about 30 seconds when I say goodbye. I'm going to come over here to the computer. I'm going to thank you for joining me, of course, again today. I hope you'll join me Monday morning and we'll continue on this guy. And so I want to thank you once again. And I also am going to leave you, like usual, with my schedule and by saying,